Julie would like to greet you and everyone. Today Julie invites you and everyone to follow Julie as we learn about a topic: evidence of life after death in near-death experiences. And what is a near-death experience? Mysterious phenomenon occurs when about to die. We won't let you and your friends wait too long. Let's go. Sedatives or other drugs during resuscitation may cause memories of the event to begin to fade rapidly in many people. We still don't know what's going on. There are still a lot of mysteries about what happens when we die, and hopefully this research will help shine a scientific lens on that. Professor Dr. Sam Parnia. What is a near-death experience? Mysterious phenomenon occurs when about to die. The terms near-death experiences have become so popular that they have entered everyday language in Western countries. Phrases like, "My whole life flashed before my eyes," or, "walking toward the light," have appeared for decades in studies of strange, supernatural experiences when one is with someone, the brink of death. But what exactly is a near-death experience? Are they hallucinating? A spiritual experience? A living proof after death? Or are they merely chemical changes in the brain and sensory organs in the moments before death? In this article, we will discuss what constitutes a near-death experience. And we'll also explore spiritual, philosophical, and scientific theories about why they happen. What is a near-death experience? Near-death experiences are strange mental experiences that occur when someone is about to die. Heaven, hell, unrealistic realms, light at the end of the tunnel, or even meeting deceased relatives again, are common reports of people who have experienced this mysterious phenomenon. The term, near-death experience, appeared in the book titled, Life After Life, by Dr. Raymond Moody, published in 1975. This was the first time that the concept of near-death experience came to the public, but reports of such experiences have occurred throughout human history. The book, Plato's Republic, written in 360 BC, has a story about a soldier named who had a near-death experience (NDE) after being seriously injured in battle. Describes his soul leaving his body, being judged with other souls, and seeing heaven. For the purposes of this article, a near-death experience is any experience in which a person who is close to death or suffering from some injury or illness that could lead to death perceives seemingly impossible events, unusual or supernatural. Although there are many questions about near-death experiences, one thing is certain: they exist. Thousands of people have felt similar feelings when they were about to die. The issue here is whether what they experience is real or just an illusion. In the next section, we will look at some of the characteristics of near-death experiences, to see what they see when they are near death. Studies on near-death experiences. In 1982, pollster George Gallup Jr. and author William Proctor released Adventures in Immortality, a book about near-death experiences based on 2 Gallup polls addressing death and belief in an afterlife. This survey remains the most widely used reference source for near-death experience statistics. Gallup and Proctor found that 15% of Americans who have been in a near-death situation reported an NDE. Of those, 9% included a classic out-of-body experience, while 11% included entering another realm or dimension and 8% featured the presence of other spirits. Only 1% reported negative near-death experiences. But these numbers are more than 20 years old, and other researchers, who study on a smaller scale, report NDE statistics that can vary widely from the 1982 poll. A statistical analysis of more than 100 NDE subjects found that religious beliefs and previous knowledge of NDEs had no significant influence on the likelihood of having a near-death experience. Most recently, a new study published in Mindfulness shows a different approach. Research on near-death experiences through meditation (MINDE), a phenomenon mentioned in Buddhist texts, ancient, which may make NDE more experimentally accessible to researchers. The study is titled, Meditation-Induced Near-Death Experiences, a 3-year longitudinal study, with the participation of 12 Buddhist monks and lay people over a period of 3 years. All are longtime practitioners in the field of meditation. Additionally, another study has focused on the effects of NDEs on subjects' lives. Kenneth Ring, one of the most famous researchers of near-death experiences, reports a large number of subjects gaining self-confidence and becoming more extroverted after the experience. These often include a sense of purpose in life, an appreciation for life, an increased compassion, patience, understanding, and a general sense of personal strength. A small percentage of subjects reported feelings of fear, depression, and focus on death. Ring also found that people who have had near-death experiences tend to feel a heightened sense of religiosity and belief in a spiritual world. Ultimately, people who experience NDEs feel that they are not afraid of death, and believe that a positive experience will await them when they actually die. Next, we will look at spiritual and supernatural hypotheses that seek to explain near-death experiences. But Satan's ultimate reason for this deception is unclear. Other explanations for near-death experiences are a bit more mystical. Some people believe that a near-death experience represents a spiritual connection with higher intelligent beings from another realm. These beings may be evolved humans, their souls beyond the cycle of birth and death, thus giving a glimpse into the future of humanity as higher beings. Sometimes, a near-death experience can even give a literal glimpse into the future, like the doomsday prophecies many people have reported. Interestingly, religions outside of Judeo-Christianity also have stories and descriptions of death that bear many similarities to near-death experiences. Near-death karma is a Buddhist term to describe this mysterious phenomenon. Occurrences experienced by a person preparing to pass away. According to ancient Buddhist texts, these activities depend on the karma a person has created in the past. See more. What is karma? The goal of some schools of Buddhism is to realize the Buddha light, when the consciousness enters an intermediate state called the bardo. If that happens, the soul can escape the cycle of birth and death and attain nirvana. Many Buddhist texts talk about other realms where souls are reborn, such as hell, heaven, or hungry ghosts, and many other mysterious experiences such as meeting bodhisattvas, gods, demons, or sparkling lights, when a practitioner enters a state of deep concentration. In addition, the period of near-death karma is very important because according to Buddhism, it determines the living conditions and environment in a person's next life. The Tibetan Tantric school has many methods to transform near-death karma into means to achieve enlightenment. It is said that the last thought before death is the main reason that determines the good, bad state in the next life. Scientific explanation of near-death experiences. Until now, science still cannot explain why some people have near-death experiences. But that doesn't mean current scientific explanations are inaccurate, and also because NDEs are complex, subjective, and emotional. Furthermore, many aspects of NDE cannot be tested. We cannot perform a test to determine whether someone actually visited heaven and met God or intentionally brought someone to the brink of death and then resuscitated them in a laboratory experiment to test their out-of-body awareness. However, Modern science provides convincing evidence that many aspects of near-death experiences are purely physiological and psychological. Scientists have discovered that the drugs ketamine and phencyclidine (PCP), or DMT psychedelic, can create feelings in users that closely resemble many of the characteristics of a near-death experience. In fact, some users think they are actually dying while taking the drug. The mechanism behind some of these strange experiences lies in the way our brains process sensory information. What we see around us is just the sum of all the sensory information our brain is receiving at any given time. It is the same mechanism that causes the phenomenon of ghost pressure or dreaming while urinating that many people have reported for centuries. Of body adventures that allow them to see and hear events that their unconscious body cannot perceive are more difficult to explain. However, one scientific hypothesis is that unconscious people can still access previous sensory signals or data and incorporate them into their near-death experiences. Whether this explanation makes more sense than the subject's soul floating away from their body is a matter of personal opinion. In summary, some factors that determine what happens during a near-death experience may include: brain lacks oxygen. Some brain functions fail or stop working. Religious beliefs and the amount of information and knowledge collected throughout life. Subjective emotions. The environment surrounding the dying person. Of course, this only scratches the surface of the belief in a near-death experience. Near-death experiences seem to offer some hope that death is not something to fear, nor is it the end. And even science has a difficult time understanding death. The medical community has struggled with specific definitions for clinical death, organ death, and brain death for decades. For every aspect of a near-death experience, there is at least one scientific explanation for it. And for every scientific explanation, there seem to be 5 cases of near-death experiences that defy it. This is the end of the video. Julie would like to sincerely thank you and all of you for your interest in watching. Hello and see you again.